Okay, so I am going to glearn, and I'm going to pull up SA2 and start working on it. I felt comfortable with the first 10 questions, so I'm going to excuse me, I can't think. Now I feel very self-conscious knowing that someone's going to be listening to this. I'm going to be going to SA2, but I'll skip the first 10 questions because I felt comfortable with the last 10. So I'm going to go to minimum requirements, but better double check multiple choice questions. But I think the first 10, okay, so I'm just going to go to the short answer questions. Okay, well, what is the difference between an argument and a parameter? The difference between an argument and a parameter is that the first is data and the second is a doorway for connecting a function, well, let's say collecting the inner workings of a function to code outside of the function. And you send an argument through that doorway when you call a function. Oh, okay. Oh, no, wait, you don't need to seat me. Anyway, I'm sharing my screen, so. Oh, but that reminds me I have to put on my glasses. Okay. Good. Yep, still recording. Okay, next question. Okay. How are arrays and objects alike? They are both collections of elements, but well, they're both collections of elements. That's how they're alike. How are arrays and objects different? Arrays are merely I'm getting self-conscious again. Arrays are merely indexed whereas objects also have keys. Okay, and I'm going to submit that. And now I noticed that last time I tend to pour a lot of energy into the simpler questions up at the beginning. So I'm going to go to the end. Maybe we could do something kind of in the middle. Yep, I'm gonna go here. Better set my timer for 60 minutes. Okay, write a function. I validated this, which accepts an object and adds two key value pairs to that object. Data checked with the Boolean value true and checked by with your name string. Okay, so it's taking in an object, and the fact that it's taking in the object means that it is true. It has been put in. Yeah, okay, it's just supposed to say that and then checked by, and it takes your name. Okay, so I like going over and I know this looks bad because I'm looking at notes, but I'm not actually looking at previous notes. I just like to copy and paste it into notes and take notes on the thing while I'm doing that, while I'm trying to figure it out. So let's see. Okay, so and this is problem 10. Notes is acting up. It did this before. Okay, let's give it a shot. Heading, questions. Okay. Okay, so the input is an object. And the output is a key, a specific key inside the object, and my name, and I'm not sure. Does this, whoops. Does this function return anything? So for example, we start does it return anything? It adds 2 key value pairs to the object, but it doesn't return anything. No. Will this just use reassigning or assigning? Or really just assigning? Okay, so using Habitica to help me type better. Okay, there we go. So it takes in car data, validated as car data, etc. Okay, so if you log car data, make, model, etc., data checked true, checked by Mac Reactor. Okay. I'm going to start from here. Go down here. I think it will just be reassigning, but I want to see what that looks like. Okay. What would reassigning look? So we need to, I'm going to pull this down here. So basically, that would be it's a single object, so we don't need to do any extra indexing. That would be the object. At well, I was going to say that would be the object at 0, and then the next would be the object at 1, etc., etc. But if we don't really need to know about the index for this, because we have the keys we want. We do want the object, but then at the new key, we want the value to be well, there are two, so I'm just going to do that right now. Object at new key 2 equals that. Okay, so we actually know the names of these keys. So I'm just going to type them in. We have data checked. The value of that is true. And then the other key is checked by, and the value of that is a string. And I'll just say Daniel Grimm. And I think that's the heart of what I need. So now I'm going to go over to Replit. Whoops. Let's see. I'm just going to open a fresh Replit because, well, I'm going to keep this one because, but I'll put it somewhere else because I want that for afterwards when this assessment is done. Okay. Settings, whoops. Are dark. And I don't like wraps. And disabled. Good. Okay, so I think, so this is the heart of my function, and I think that's all I need before I start kind of putting the rest of the function around it. Okay, I'll just copy and paste this over to make the test. And And then I'm going to start writing the function. Function car data takes these parameters. I'm going to say it takes object. And this is what it does. It assigns object at data checked to be true, an object at check by to be Daniel Grimm. And that's all it does. And then I just have to log it. Okay. Why is it unhappy with that? Maybe I need to do a doesn't like the fact I don't know why it doesn't like that. I guess when I copy pasted it, it didn't make it that way. I validated this is not defined. Oh, I didn't copy the function name. I copied the variable that's the variable car data. Okay, I validated this. Data checked is not defined. Oh, they're new strings, so I have to make them be strings. Okay, good. So that should paste in nicely. Oops. Good, cool. Next one. Okay. Exercise 9. Oops. Problem 9. Questions and notes. I'm going to take this down here. Okay. And this will be bulleted. Okay, good. Okay, write a function, multiply two arguments, number array and factor. Number array and factor, and returns a new array with, oh, okay, so it takes an array and a number. Input array and a number indicating okay, it turns a new array with each so indicating a multiplier. The output is I think it has to be the same array. Yep. Returns that array with each element multiplied. So now I'm going to look at the examples. Well, so obviously it's going to I'm going to return an array that array I'm going to loop through that array. That part is, that's clear, so much, that's clear to me. And then when I loop, I'm going to multiply. Okay. Now, good. Want to keep going from the concrete, so I'm going to copy this over and take a look at it. So my parameters are array and factor. So array, I've got the array. And I want the value at the array, which is going to be my I, to be multiplied by factor. That's the heart of it. I'm just going to go through all the things and multiply them. Okay, so for example, just to check, it would be so if we, okay. I want to stay within the time limit, but I also want to check this. So probably should just do it. So we've got this array, this first array, which is 0, 4, 8, 12. And then 3. Okay, but we're going to say that array, this doesn't really work. I mean, wouldn't really write it this way, but that array at the I index, so the first time it would be 0, would be times 3. And that in turn would be just 0 times 3, since the value at the 0 index in that array is 0. So 0 times 3, so that would come back as 0. Okay. Okay, so this is that. I'm going to go over here. Okay. So I think part of the problem of doing it this way is that it's not spaced in quite the right way. So I'm just going to keep on building outward. So I've got a for loop, and got variable I equals 0. And as long as I is less than the array dot length, then keep on adding 1 to I. And then every time it does that, we're going to multiply the array at I value times the factor. Okay, looks like I spelled everything right. Okay, now I'm going to bring over test cases. I guess, okay. Well, right now I just want to do maybe 1 for now. And it might be better to do more, but it's easier for me to work with 1 at a time. Okay. This is going to be outside of the function. So it's going to be variable call equals, it's going to call multiply by, and then console.log call. Now I'm going to go up here and start the function multiply by, here's the parameters, here's what it does. It takes in an array and a factor. Is it returning? Yes, yes. No, I don't remember, it doesn't. Yes, it is returning. Oh, wait. Returns a new array with each of the elements. Okay, so I need to make a new array. Variable new array is an empty array right now. And then at the end, I'm going to want to return new array. But then in here, I want to populate new array with these factors. So I'm going to say, yeah, new, come on, new array at I equals, that should be enough, but I need to wrap it. So just checking function. My timer is running out, so I'm going to run this without checking through it visually one more time. And it works. Okay. Cool. Okay, next. Ooh, this looks long. Okay. Wonder what it actually says though. Function which accepts an object and returns two strings. So this is problem 8. Now, I feel like sometimes I get a little bit too ritualistic about this, but it does help me keep my thoughts organized. Okay. Okay. Oh, go away. The record screen thing is getting in the way. Nope. Good. Thank you. So input is an object, and the output is two strings. But now, how is it outputting them? It accepts the object and then returns the person's current city and state. So it's just going to call on those keys. And return them. Okay, so okay, so I need to look at the time. Got about half an hour left. Okay, wait, so they're taking notes. Okay, so it's two strings that are already in the object. I just need to select and return them. Okay. So then the question is, do I need to look through with a loop? I don't think so, because I already know the keys. Okay, and now notes is freezing up on me going, and so I'll just move on, take the sign that I should move on to this. Maybe it's, okay, good. So going to look at this. Okay, I'm spinning my wheels because I'm thinking so fast over a little decision. I will just use the person A thing. And basically, person A is the object. Okay. And then we're looking at two things in the object. One of them is city. One of them is state. And we just want to return them. Return object at city, return object at state. So this would be return this person A at city, return person A at state. Yeah, that works. Okay, so this is the heart of it right here. So I'm going to take that and go over to Replit. And then that's going to be down here. I don't think the loop is necessary, so I'm just going to get just use this. And then okay, so we have a function. Make the test variable call false. So dot log all. Function get current location, get current location. It's going to take in an object, and then it's going to return the object at city, object at state. And I realized that I could use the dot notation, but I like bracketing better because it's more universal. But I realized that it would be good to learn it so that it's faster. Anyway, so that seems like it's all there is to it. So I'm going to run it, and since I have a few minutes on my timer, no, I have a few more to go, so I'm going to run it and see what happens. City is not defined. Oh, that's right. If you call it that way, then you have to. I see that that is the disadvantage, is you have to call it a string. Oh. Well, how can I do both? Does that work? Hmm. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. So do I need to iterate through it then? Because otherwise it won't do that? So key in object get rid of that. Hmm. Hmm. It seems to stop it. I know return stops, but I'm not sure how to get around that. I know it says return. Maybe console don't log won't work. Oh, okay. So none of that is necessary. I just need to create a variable location that is I think you can concatenate city. I can tell my brain's getting overheated, so I'm going to get some water. I have a feeling like I'm overthinking this, but what I'm trying to do is get around the fact that if I return just one object, then it just stops. So I'm going to comment these out because so I'm going to create a location I'm going to concatenate the object at city with something at state. I'm not sure if that works. I don't think I've done anything like that before, but I'm going to see. Return location and see what happens. This feels like cheating, but I wonder if I can. This feels like it's too complicated, but I guess I could. Okay, my timer's out. I'm going to wait on that one. I feel like I'm overthinking it. So I'm going to open a new Replit window and look at the next problem. Actually, I'm going to go down to number 1. Okay, I'm going to write a function, lesser number, which takes in 2 integer arguments and returns the lesser of the 2. So it will take in 2 numbers and return 1. If they're equal, return either. So it seems like the heart of that would just be number 1 less than number 2 return that. And then I think I can just say else return either, because no, that's not true. So then I would return number 1. So that's the heart of it. I just need to imitate that. So I feel stressed because I feel like I could do all these other ones. I'm just being too careful. But one thing at a time. So So we got function lesser number. I'm going to do that. Put that up here. Then I'm going to get the test cases. Okay. So there's two if statements here. Trying to get down there. Okay. And there's another if statement here. Okay. So if number 1 is less than number 2, whoops, return number 1. If number 2 is less than number 1, return number 2, else return number 1. Return either. Okay. Got about 10 minutes left of my hour. Let's see, write a function. I know I'm not supposed to go straight to coding, but I'm trying to get this done in the time limit. So let's see. And I think I know what to do because it takes in any input and it returns a string. And the string is this. And that's all right. Caps maybe. Who's to say? Oh, it returns true by default. Okay, so I see it's more complicated than I thought. If going to return true if what? It returns true by default, but if given any input whatsoever, okay. I'm not sure that saved any time, just going straight to the coding. Write a function bill total which takes in a number and returns the total with a 9. Well, let's see. That just seems like it's going to take subtotal, which is a number, times so we've got variable total, which is the subtotal, but it's the subtotal times 9.875 plus subtotal would be the total amount, but then you need to add these percentages, which would be that but if it's percent, it needs to be 0.0, and then it would also be plus subtotal at a 0.20. This isn't very careful, but let's see how it goes. Then return total. Okay, well, my timer's gone off, and I have several left to do. I'd appreciate help on how to do these faster.